Hey, thanks for tuning back in for the Snyder Family Homestead. If you came here looking for the rest of this video, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So about these finds that I found in the garden today, very interesting. I found them not very far apart. It actually in the same two garden rows I was getting ready to plant some more corn. So we bought this land a few years ago, and from a woman, her family had been on this property since before the Civil War, so over 125 years, over 150 years actually. So when I was hoeing the corn, I found this, and I found that very interesting. The guy that I had plow this land, the plow went about 12 inches deep, and so this is just very cool, very curious. It still has some blue on it. Nice little flower pattern on it. That's just really cool. I don't know how long it's been in the garden or in the ground. I have no idea, but it's pretty sweet. Then this year, this is just a hay rake tine, which is quite common to find old nuts and bolts and pieces of farm equipment in an older field. This could be quite old, or maybe 75 years, maybe closer to 100 years now. I mean, it's 2023. But I mean, they don't change things in the farming world unless things stop working, So this type of piece of equipment has worked for a long time on other pieces of equipment. So there's no sense in changing something if it still works. Clean off my lens here, looks a little dirty. Found this small animal vertebra. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know what kind of vertebra it is or anything like that, but I think it's pretty cool. The kids thought it was really interesting when I found it and brought it up to the house. And what's shocking is they are all just really close together. All this stuff was like, I'm telling you, like the two rows of sweet corn, and I was just hoeing it up and knocking out the weeds, and I found all this stuff. So I thought maybe this one may be more of a chicken bone. I'm not quite for sure. But this one here, I mean, it's got a little ball joint on it, as you can see right here. And then it goes down to like maybe some type of knee joint. But I'm not for sure. I just don't know. And they're still quite strong. I can't break it. It's not hollow. It's kind of dense. Trying to get the auto adjust here. Sorry. The sun's kind of playing effect on it. Yeah, it's just a really interesting bone. I thought maybe this could be a bird bone because it is set like this a little bit, but this is the head, and this is obviously another joint here. But birds, their knees are backwards than humans, because when they sit down, their knees bend forward, they bend backwards, so they can sit down on the nests. It's pretty interesting. But this piece here is the real perplexing piece. Like I was saying, like, let me try to get this in focus. Like, it kind of looks like a tooth up close, but it's large. It's huge. Like, I still don't, maybe, so that's why I thought maybe it was part of a growth plate of a large animal, maybe. But then you look at it here. It's like got all these indentations. It's obviously been broke at some point, but it's quite fibrous and long, and I just don't know what it is. This is really interesting. Like I said, if it was just a solid rock, the weight would be completely off. I mean, even for sandstone or a chalk-based rock, it would just be off. But what really is interesting is how white that is there. And then, just pull that away for a second, and just that circular pattern around. And then there's that in the middle. It reminds me, it kind of looks like a molar. Now here in Michigan, let me give you a sidetrack here. There is a swamp just up and over the next hill from me. And in swamps and ponds and like that, in Michigan, it has happened where people have found mastodons or woolly mammoths. I'm not exactly for sure. I think mastodon bones. When I was in high school in Hillsdale County, there was somebody contacted one of my teachers, and we actually got to go to the property and look for bones. They had found, I believe, Michigan State or U of M University, or U of M or Michigan State was already there, and they actually found parts of the skull and I believe a tusk. But all this guy was doing was digging out his pond and making it deeper and wider, and they had found it. So it's just really interesting, especially like I said, like this white part here, it's just really mind-boggling. And then it's, you know, is the striations right here, and then it's white right here. It just doesn't look right, and how white it is compared to everything else. But it'd be really cool if I could find some more garden finds like this. It was just quite shocking that I found all this stuff today, so I wanted to share that with you guys here on the homestead. And then that one, like I said, that one was the most interesting to me. But I've always liked finding pieces of pottery. I just always thought it was cool because you just don't know the history of it. This could be from, you know, shoot, I don't know, there's no markings on it or anything like that, but this could be from the 1800s. You just don't know. Like, you know, the native people here, there could have been some kind of epic battle between a native group and some early homesteaders, a little too far north for Civil War battles. Not saying that they didn't happen. Same thing with Revolutionary War battles. I don't think there was any Revolutionary Wars in Michigan or battles. I could be, I could be corrected. I'm not 100% sure. But this seems like maybe a homesteader had maybe dropped it, or some kid, took the plate out and dropped it. Or, it's quite common for people to bury things once they don't want them anymore, just to get rid of them. Or it could have been an old privy area where it's an outhouse and people just throw the stuff away, which would be kind of unfortunate because that means I'm touching this. But I guess over 100 years, I guess it's really not that bad. But thanks for tuning in for the Snyder Family Homestead. Have a good night.